big weekend in Knoxville as Alabama comes to town, and Tennessee needs this one. How impactful can a win be for Tennessee recruiting?
Well, if you look at Tennessee's big win 2 years ago, 52-49 over Alabama, the goalposts go in the river, recruits jump in the fold. It was a magical night inside Neyland Stadium. David Hobbs was one of the blue chip prospects that was inside Neyland that night, ultimately ended up picking Tennessee over Alabama and many others. He's now part of that loaded Tennessee defensive line room that wants to get after Jalen Milroe and company. On Saturday, five-star receiver Mike Matthews was there. Two-way standout Boo Carter was on campus that day. They were two of the jewels of Tennessee's 2024 recruiting class. And then in 2025, my first time interviewing George McIntyre was after that game. He sent me photos of him and Peyton Manning holding a cigar from the locker room. He is now in Tennessee's recruiting class. He is obviously one of the more coveted quarterbacks in the 2025 class. Him and Bryce Underwood were the first two guys in the country that basically had the opportunity to commit anywhere they wanted. George McIntyre chose Tennessee over Alabama, LSU, and others. And that game had to have been impactful on his recruitment being there. It was a special night. And Josh Heupel and company hope they're doing some locker room recruiting after the game through a heavy smoke from cigars.
Yeah, we'll see if they are celebrating with cigars after this one. Now, there's 4 official visitors that are going to be on campus, and one of the big ones that headlines this list is top 50 uncommitted defensive lineman Isaiah Campbell, and he's uncommitted, Steve, because he decommitted from Clemson about 3 weeks ago now. Tennessee trending, and you put in a big prediction yesterday for Campbell to the Vols.
Well, he decommitted from Clemson so he could take some other college visits. When you are committed to Clemson, you are not allowed to take trips to other programs. And with that, Dabo Swinney also doesn't bring you in if you are committed elsewhere to visit Clemson. But Tennessee, Rodney Garner, Coach Chop and company have continued to put the full court press on Isaiah Campbell, and he is excited to get to Tennessee this weekend with his family. Look, they love the way that Tennessee's playing on the defensive line. Coach Gardner's track record of development at the position. Jalen Wright's a former Tennessee running back from the same Southern High School in Durham, North Carolina. So Tennessee has the ties to his high school. You know, talking to his dad, he said he's developed a great relationship with the staff, and Tennessee's the one to beat right now for him. Now, look, this process still has some runway. Clemson's still involved. North Carolina is in the picture. USC, Notre Dame also trying to get involved. But I like where Tennessee stands coming into this visit. Play well, have a good experience as his official visit. I think that Tennessee could be in even better position coming out of this experience.
So the prediction you dropped yesterday, is that more of a projection you think he ends up at Tennessee, or do you think something could happen this weekend?
Well, current pulse, I think that Tennessee's the program to beat, and that's coming. And so we'll see what happens coming out of the visit, how Tennessee plays, the kind of experience he has, how does he continue to get along with the players, how is it being around Coach Gardner, Coach Heupel, Coach Chop and company. But Tennessee doing all the right things right now in this recruitment. I think they're in pole position for Isaiah Campbell. Again, Clemson's still involved. He still talks often with Coach Rump and Coach Eason, so perhaps maybe that recruitment would come full circle and he could end up back with the ACC powerhouse. But the momentum is with Tennessee coming into this visit with some others trying to make a swing. Look, his dad, Chris, said Isaiah has really been favoring Tennessee. That's been where he's at with it. So George is also trying to get involved with he's a special player, number 32 overall player in the country. If he remains in the top 32, he'll finish as a 5-star on 3. So that's the kind of talent we're talking about. It's the kind of difference maker Tennessee needs to continue being one of the top programs in the SEC for years to come. And I like where they stand.
All right, another flip target on campus this weekend on an official visit is linebacker Austin Howard, who's committed Mississippi State. Now, we saw Mississippi State flip last weekend to USC and Stephon Miller. Austin Howard, he's from the state of Tennessee. This one seems imminent, Steve.
Well, linebacker is a position of need for Tennessee as they finish this recruiting class. Another linebacker committed elsewhere visiting this weekend, per our colleague Chad Simmons, is Luke Metz, committed to Alabama. I think that they're going uphill with both of these recruitments right now. Austin Howard has visited Vanderbilt twice this fall. That's where my on-3 RPM is right now. So Tennessee not only trying to make a move on Mississippi State, but particularly Vanderbilt. So we'll see how his weekend official visit goes. I certainly could see us talking more about Tennessee with Austin Howard coming out of the visit. And we'll see what happens with Luke Metz. He's also been to Georgia this year. He's got a lot of powerhouses coming after him. Chad Simmons reported Oregon, another program taking a swing at Luke Metz. But has seemed pretty solid with his commitment to Alabama to date.
All right, linebacker is a need, and Tennessee's going to be hosting 2 more official visits, both of them committed. Defensive lineman Darian Smith, he's committed to Tennessee, and also linebacker Jaden Harmon, he's committed to Tennessee. Now, Harmon already flipped from Alabama to Tennessee, but Alabama isn't going away, so how important is this official visit for Harmon, and what does Tennessee need to do this weekend?
Well, Harmon was at Alabama earlier this fall, and after the visit, he told me point blank he could flip back to Alabama as this process continues. So Tennessee getting him back on campus, looking to remind him why he's in the fold for the Vols, the big need that they have. And this is a special second-level defender, Josh. He can really run, play in space, do all the things that you want an athletic linebacker to be able to do for your football program. And you don't want to play against him if you're Tennessee on the next level. So getting him back this weekend, getting him around all the commits that are going to be back from George McIntyre to David Sanders Jr. and company, and getting them to continue to feel at home is going to be big.
All right. 2026 prospects on campus. Like you said in the intro, a win goes a long way in laying the groundwork for the future. So, who are you watching from the 2026 class and beyond that's going to be in Knoxville this weekend?
Well, Tennessee's ultimately going to land some of these guys who time will tell. I put in an on-3 RPM for the Vols to land on 300 receiver Tyreek King. He's a local product from Knoxville. He's going to be dropping top schools soon. I think Tennessee is setting the bar in that recruitment right now. A couple other key in-state guys that they like a lot, edge rusher Zach Groves, safety Craig Tutt. They're going to be at Tennessee this weekend. There are some of the best juniors in the country expected for this one, from Douglas County receivers Aaron Gregory and Devin Carter in Georgia, the number 3 cornerback in the land, Zion Gibson, number 6 cornerback in the country, Samari Matthews. For a second straight week, on 3's number 2 ranked 2026 linebacker Rodney Colton is expected back. He was at the win over Florida. He is coming back for this one. Rodney Dunham is one of the best 2-sport stars in the 2026 class, also a terrific baseball player. He's high on Tennessee's football board. Obviously, the Vols boast the best baseball program in the country right now. So Rodney Dunham is a prospect that they're super high on. Their 2 favorite running backs in the class, Amari Latimer from Georgia, Savion Hyder from Virginia, are expected. Several offered guys in 2026 and 2027 going to be inside Neyland for what's going to be a hell of an atmosphere on Saturday in Tennessee, get their second straight road win over Alabama.
Yeah, I'm fired up about this one. Steve, give us your prediction for Alabama, Tennessee.
I got the Vols. I think the Vols haven't played the way that they've wanted to play the last 2 Saturdays. I think they put it all together again on Saturday afternoon inside Neyland Stadium. I think Tennessee gets the win, and then I think ultimately that's going to lead to a lot of recruiting wins for Josh Heupel and company. Who do you got, Josh?
It would be massive for them to get the win. Now, I'm taking Alabama on the road. I think they're a little bit more battle-tested. I want to see a little bit more from Nico. Not saying Nico can't do it. I just haven't seen it yet in a big game, so I like Alabama by a field goal. All right, you guys, comment section below. Tennessee fans, how are we feeling? What's the final score? Give us your predictions.